Our biggest sale of the year is happening right now during the Season of Inspiration at Team Mazda. Now's your chance to get 0% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5 and make no payments for 90 days. Get savings on top of savings right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Good morning, happy Monday, and my, has the sun risen over, wow, False River, look at that.
It's like some kind of portal to a whole other dimension over there.
Look at the steam,
I know,
kind of rolling off the river too.
Smoke that Steve talked about.
Beautiful.
That is a postcard, but postcard is like a picture. This is like I don't know what you're the video.
A digital postcard?
I don't know what it is, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. The ducks on the pond.
Yeah.
So, it is a gorgeous morning to view from the comfort of inside where it's warm. Because outside, not so warm. And actually, New Orleans is one of those spots that got down to freezing today.
Oh, Steve, it's been cold starting our part of the world, but typical for this time of year.
Yeah, it is December after all. If you're up there in False River, instead of maybe being out on a deck, be nice if you're in the living room with a nice window view of that sunrise. Right now, 30 in New Roads. Baton Rouge just above freezing, 33. We will see if at any point we snuck down to freezing. We've yet to have a freeze in Baton Rouge so far this fall and winter, but so far, 33 is the coldest I've seen. But Gonzales at freezing, Hammond, Bogalusa at 31, even Patterson right now just above freezing at 33. There's that live look once again. Well, skip by it, but bottom line is sun is up. We have clear skies. We expect sunshine through the day today. A slow but steady warm up. Temperatures in the mid 50s at noon. We'll go with highs in the low 60s this afternoon. Still a few degrees below normal on the highs, but turns into a pretty decent day. Our weekend rain and storms, that storm system now lifting up into the northeast, so that one on the way out. Clear skies left behind it. We now focus out west, and you don't see much here yet, but you have to trust me. There's some energy moving into the west coast. It's going to start to consolidate over the next day or two and eventually start moving across the southern U.S. So with that, we give you a first alert to rains potentially returning for the upcoming weekend. Now here's what the Weather Prediction Center has for the next 7 days. Takes us through next Monday morning. Heavier rains out over the Gulf of Mexico. Locally, they're showing anywhere from a ½ inch to nearly 2 inches of rainfall on average. So another decent soaking on the way if we go by that. Look what the European model does. Really hits us hard with the rainfall. And again, this largely falls over the weekend. 2 to 5 inches plus showing up in the European, but contrasted with the GFS, which has much of the area an inch or less, a little bit more as you go west of Baton Rouge, and you see quite the disparity there. So this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on in the days ahead to kind of hopefully iron out some of these details. A lot of the uncertainty tied to low pressure potentially developing in the Gulf of Mexico. Where exactly does it track? How strong does it get? So we'll have to kind of focus in on that in the days ahead. What I can tell you with more confidence is through the work week, weather should be pretty quiet. Now tomorrow morning, it looks like one more morning in the 30s, although I think above freezing for most of us. And then tomorrow through Friday, highs pretty close to normal in the mid 60s. So chilly mornings, comfortable afternoons, mainly dry through Friday. I've gone conservative on rain chances for now for the weekend at 40%. Decent chance we'll be bumping those up with time. And then by early next week, looks like we'll be dry again with temperatures pretty close to normal. Time is 7:06 with an update on your Monday morning commute drive now. Here's John.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Take a look at the map and watch when I populate it with the crash icons. There's crashes all over the place. We have a couple new ones. This one's going to be, I believe, on Scenic Highway. Evangeline at Scenic right there in that area. And we have one right over here. That's one of a relative new one. It's going to be on Stumberg at Windy. And where was the other one I wanted to show you? I think that was it. Those are the two most recent ones in the Baton Rouge area. But meanwhile, the interstates are flowing pretty well this morning. Here's I-10 east and westbound near the 1012 merge. Exit that takes you over from I-12 to I-10. College Drive off-ramp, a little back up there. That right lane beyond College is a little slow as you make your way toward Acadian. Bridge traffic starting to slow down coming in from the west on 10 eastbound. That's coming in from Port Allen. And there's your drive times coming in from Denham Springs. We're now back up to about 16 minutes. You see the breakdowns there. That's not horrible at all for 7:07 in the morning. And we'll keep an eye on that, see if it gets any worse before it gets better. 7:07, little update on some of our morning headlines you might have missed on the big show on 9 News this morning. We do that every weekday morning at 7 o'clock right here on Studio B. It is on WAFB Plus and right there with Matt and Liz. Good morning, guys, again.
And good morning to you, Johnny. Unfortunately, we're starting out today's headlines with a number of shootings from over the weekend. Let's start you off with the update from the very recent one that we actually heard from Baton Rouge Police. BRPD telling us that this was a domestic incident on Harry Drive.
Yeah, it's kind of near Lobdell Boulevard, Sunday night is what they're talking about. And to your point, they believe it was related to a domestic incident. Now, victim taken to the hospital in our part of the world, expected to survive, but who pulled the trigger, what went into that shooting, that investigation is continuing. Obviously, you can make a phone call to Crime Stoppers. But here's the thing, Liz. You mentioned it just a second ago. There's a lot of shooting investigations going on. And so when we take you from that one to this one as well, man found shot to death in his apartment. This is off of Plank Road. This is according to East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office deputies. They say apparently neighbors in the area heard the gunfire Friday night, but they didn't get a report about it until much later.
At Saturday morning, in fact. And so right now, they still have a lot of questions as to what happened, who shot the victim, the identity of the victim. We're still waiting for a lot of information. But as Matt mentioned, it happened at an apartment complex. So if you're thinking, I remember police lights, I remember hearing something around a certain time Friday night, please call in those tips to Crime Stoppers. That can really help investigators figure out what happened in this one. And that's just this one. We have another one to report here. So a man was killed in a shooting off of North Acadian Thruway. But here's what's interesting here. Police didn't even register this shooting until the victim ended up in a hospital for a surgery. We've been told 23-year-old Ricky Scott died while in surgery at a local hospital. This happened near North 32nd Street and Bogan Walk, but we still don't know what led up to this.
Right, so we don't know who ended up taking his life. We're not sure exactly what he was able to tell detectives, hospital officials, that kind of thing in those final moments. But Crime Stoppers, again, the number to dial. And look, keep it handy because, my goodness, this weekend just needs to calm down. And as we get into this new week, there's this one as well. Now, possible domestic dispute here as well being worked by BRPD. 2 men shot. This is off of Flicker Street.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. It's Flicker and Scenic kind of there. We're told 2 men were shooting at each other, kind of stemming from an incident involving a child and a restraining order. So the 2 men involved, well, one involved the child, a restraining order against the child's father, and then the boyfriend of the mother's. So a lot involved here. They're still trying to figure out who shot who and what time this happened, why this happened. We just know it stemmed off of some kind of argument, but we're told that they've got some injuries as a result of this shooting.
So who shot this guy too? I'm telling you, man, this is a wild weekend here. This is actually in Gonzales, right? A man shot, 20-year-old man found shot in his backyard. Officially right now, we don't know his condition, how he is. Made it to the hospital alive, but we don't have answers here either.
We sure don't. All we know right now is that this happened at a home off of West Sydney Street, not far from West Worthy Street in Gonzales. Now, Gonzales police also stressing they don't believe that this is tied to that deadly shooting in Gonzales from Friday night. So still a lot of questions as to how did this man end up dead and who did it. So again, Crime Stoppers is the number to call in any one of these 5 shootings from over the weekend in the capital area. That's a lot of crime to note, Matt. A lot going on as we inch closer to Christmas and the end of the year.
Calm down, South Louisiana.
Please.
All right, so from all that to this, speaking of South Louisiana, speaking of Louisiana in general, we've been talking about this in half of the last couple of weeks. Louisiana, one of the worst states in the country, like top 2, 3 when it comes to cases of flu.
That's what the CDC is tracking. They've been tracking the numbers here to find, you know, as patients come in doctors' offices and hospitals, what kind of symptoms they're reporting. And a lot of them reportedly flu symptoms. So look, we've got Christmas coming up. We've got New Year's coming up where a lot of people are going to be gathered in small spaces. So this really is an ideal time. Go ahead and get that flu shot now so it really kicks up your immunity by the time you get around those family members. Also, if you are sick right now, we know a lot of people are coughing, sneezing, their noses are watering. If you can stay home, stay home. That prevents other people from getting sick, but consider masking up too if you're going to be around people.
That'll help. All that stuff. So as we talk about making sure we're good to go, we're healthy, right? Let's be preventative here and not reactive. And so we actually, this is the story about that virus that's hitting some dogs for our 4-legged friends from around the country. And it's not here in Louisiana. We were very quick to point that out. And so we've heard some people say, well, why even talk about it? You guys just, it's almost puppy fear-mongering. The fact that we can be proactive and not reactive, letting folks know what is literally out there, just in case it were to happen here. That's what this message is about.
That's why Kelly Hubbard spoke with the LSU Vet School to talk about what they know about this, but also some local dog grooming and dog boarding places.
Absolutely.
Listen, you're going to have family members who come into town from other states with their pets, or vice versa. You're going to travel out of state with your pet. So if your dog is sick, again, keep them at home or keep them confined to a place where you know they're going to be safe, like a vet office, and get them checked out and make sure they have their routine vaccines before you go anywhere.
That's a good advice. So exactly, preparing for it. We'll let you know, speaking of getting prepared, CPR kits donated to a number of schools in Baton Rouge, and a lot of students, thousands of them, going to get trained up.
Thanks to Baton Rouge General and the American Heart Association, 8,000 students across 7 greater Baton Rouge schools, they're going to be trained on CPR in the near future to be able to save lives in any situation they're in.
That's cool.
How about that?
No kidding.
Oh.
All right, want to let you know about this. Gonzales City Council meeting today to talk a little bit about the passenger rail line, setting up some stations. Well, I don't know, but it looks like it kind of is, but they got the agreement with Baton Rouge to set up the stations. They're talking about it.
$20 million earmarked for both cities to figure out where those stations are going, so we'll see.
Okay, from roads or from rails to road, we ever going to get a new bridge? I don't know, but the Capital Area Road and Bridge District meeting set to talk about it today.
2 p.m. Senate Room E, I believe.
Right. Yep.
So if you're curious on where those talks are, go ahead and attend today.
Hey!
Matt's got his tie on.
It was that game was just gross.
Yeah.
It is. Look, it was a win. Like your point, win is a win is a win. But I'm telling you, man, that was. I don't know how many times that offense is going to try to give it away. Guys, Steve, did you watch the Saints game yesterday? Your thoughts?
I don't know what
takeaways?
you said. What'd you say? Say it again. What? One more time, Matt. One more time. What?
I was just talking to Steve.
Well,
and saying,
I know it's just problem of us not being in the same room. I think you were asking us like if we saw the game. I a little bit. You know, sadly, like a lot of Saints fans, I've kind of checked out at this point, which is amazing when they're tied for first. I'm almost on the tank train at this point. Let's get the best pick we can. Go after Jaden, maybe, right?
Yeah. Hey, now that's not a bad idea. That rumor's been fun.
Rough season around. That would be awesome if true. We'll see. And we'll see if he plays in the bowl game at that. Hey, we'll see you in 10 minutes with the weather and traffic update.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.